No one just wakes up in the day and says, I'm going to just love jazz, you know? It's a passion for me. It doesn't make any money. It takes up my entire day. Sometimes I can't even practice because I'm working on organizing the stuff. And you know, you go through all of this work to do that, and then you open up Facebook and Instagram. Every day it was a new like attack, basically. I will say stuff like about jazz, and then they'll say, well, who are you to be an authority on what jazz is and what jazz isn't? You know, I'm no authority, but it's just like commonly understood. I was sadly labeled forced right musician, but I kind of like it, you know, I kind of like the title. I've been dubbed that. Because this music is bigger than me, it's bigger than the band. Um, you know, there's a lot of time we'll play and then I'll go listen to like a record and I'll be like, oh man, I wish we could song like that. But in a way, being in Belize is a blessing because we could start from, in a sense, ground zero.
That jazz is life is coming from the soul of the heart, you know, and that's where expression comes automatically. Okay, it's express yourself. Even for feel and jiggle, you jiggle with it. You know, that's it.
I think that we're the only band really pursuing this style of music because jazz is meant to be played in a band, you know, drums, bass, then others.
Do you know any bands that play in Belize? Apart from what you're seeing right now?
Nobody else.
Nobody.
Everybody else up and fast music and yeah, but that's why I come here because I've never seen this out like this before. Okay. So passing them earlier, I said like, this is interesting. They must be tourists.
I would say that it all began with my father. And the reason why I would say that is because he himself grew up as sort of like a performer in his own right, because he was a cultural icon in the 60s and 70s in Belize, because you know he was a pioneer of yoga, which you might say, well, I'm in music, he's in yoga. But I grew up hearing all of these stories that he would be performing on stage. And when I was 15, the reason I started playing music was because I wanted to make my own video games. You know, that's why I did IT. You know, of course, my goals shifted as I got older, but the initial spark was I want to do IT because I want to know how to program, make my own games. I remember this so clearly. I was in second form, and you know, it's kind of such a silly thing looking back. The English teacher was asking us what was our favorite Bob Marley song. But I was always such a contrarian, you know. I couldn't just like say, waiting in vain or something. I looked at her and I said, I don't listen to music. You know, it's so ridiculous. I told her I don't listen to music. And she's like, stop telling that lie. Everyone listens to music. But from my point of view, when everyone talked about music, it was always like, you know, I don't know, Mavado, Sean Paul. And you know, you dive into these things and there's so many like different styles of jazz, you know, swing, bebop, post bop, and even stuff that I would consider more jazz adjacent, like bossa nova. Between like when I was 16 to like 19, maybe even now, I was just like really diving into like what all these different styles are. This music was born kind of in the hood, in New Orleans, in New York. This music was, you know, very communal. You know, it was very much to the culture of a particular people at a particular time in history. Jim Crow was still in effect in the US. Black musicians needed a card to play, very segregated society. And so this music comes out of like a real struggle, you know. Jazz is something that's alive, you know, because you'll see movies like, and I love these movies, La La Land, Whiplash. But every single time when I hear people play this stuff here, it's like not the way it sounds on the records, you know. it's like I want to play a particular style, but every time like I look for that, I can't find it. Learning math is very methodological. You could teach anybody this stuff because it's straightforward. But with learning jazz, like you could learn like analysis or understand like why people play something, but to play it yourself, to like really know the style. A lot of people go to jazz school and they come out and they still just don't get it. If Pasquale Grasso tells me something about my playing, I think the first time I took a lesson with him, I was improvising a solo for him. And when I finished, he's like, your playing is like if you have the chicken but you don't put the seasoning on it. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So we need to put some seasoning. And I'm like, yes, let's put some seasoning, you know? You know, when you love something, you know, this is Belize. Belizeans know about love. Love could get violent, love could get vicious, love could be tender, love could be sweet. Love in a way kind of exists to the exclusion of if you have like a wife, you say, okay, well, all the other women goodbye. This is, you know, not nice. And so when you talk about love, you get very excited as well. So that's what, you know, Russell kind of showed me, is that all of this is about love of the music, you know. To me, it's not about ego. Like I never really talk about skill or what I play or whatever, or what anybody else plays. It's, do you love the music? Because if you love the music, eventually you'll sound good. I guess the message would be like if they really want to do something, it's possible. It doesn't matter if there's nobody else in the country that's doing it. Doesn't matter whatever it might be. You know, as long as you really want to do something, I think you could find a way to make it happen. Just do something. You know, just do something.